Hey guys, how you doing? This is the Boo Bomber, and I have gotten sidetracked. Now, I'm sure many of you already know what Monster Hunter is, but just for the few of you that don't, it's a video game series where you fight big monsters with big weapons. That is basically the entire premise of the series. I'm not joking. Play a game, you'll find out. It started out as it was very popular in Japan, but for the rest of the world, it was pretty niche, except for France for some reason. Couldn't tell you why. But whenever Monster Hunter World came out, that's when the game became very popular. And it's now a franchise that's known all over the world, a global phenomenon, if you will. Now, me personally, my first game was Monster Hunter 4 Ultimate, and then after that I played Monster Hunter Generations Ultimate. I have not played World yet. I don't know if I will. It's not because I don't like the game, it's just because I haven't gotten into it, and so I feel like I've kind of already missed the train. But, getting back on topic, because of how popular Monster Hunter World has become now, it's getting a movie adaptation. It's too bad that the movie looks like it's gonna be complete ass. Why? Oh boy. Buckle up, kids, because we're about to go on a ride. First of all, it's got a very generic premise. It's the one that literally almost every other video game movie has been using. The real world crosses over with the video game world. Just think off the top of your head how many video game movies you've seen that have that exact same generic, overused premise. And as much as I hate to even acknowledge this as a video game movie, at least the Angry Birds movie told a unique story within the universe of Angry Birds. It wasn't like, oh, the Angry Birds appear in the real world and then they gotta get back to their own world or something like that. Next thing. Guns. Why? Why is it another movie where it's the military fighting monsters with guns? I don't get why there's so many movies like this. I don't have a problem with the military in movies. That's not my problem. My issue is there's so many of them specifically fighting monsters with guns. But that's not what Monster Hunter is about. Monster Hunter is about fighting giant monsters with a huge repertoire of badass weapons and skills. You got great blades, you got long swords, you got dual blades, you got lances, gun lances, the switch axe. There's so many cool weapons, but it's like, no. Let's give them, like, generic assault rifles and a rocket launcher and pin them up against the monsters, because that's fun to watch. I don't want to watch another just boring military movie about, oh, we gotta go kill the monsters with our guns. Load up, men, we're going in. No, I don't want to see that. And for that to be the Monster Hunter movie, it's just, From the trailer, it looks like the main character is eventually going to use the Monster Hunter weapons, but it really doesn't look like it's going to happen until either halfway through or pretty much towards the end of the movie. Probably like the last quarter of the movie. It's going to be like, alright, let me pick up the Monster Hunter weapons and finally do what you do in the game. Also, this scene of the guy holding the sniper rifle and looking down the scope with the wrong eye. How do they not catch this? This is such an obvious thing. There should have been a take two for this. It looks so bad. Next, the Hunter character is boring. Even though this Hunter is supposed to be an expert because he's going on such a high level quest. He's using bone gear and wearing beginner armor. No. This man is going up against a Black Diablos. That is, I'm pretty sure, a G rank monster. Unless he's doing some sort of challenge, you do not go up against a monster of that caliber with beginner gear. That's why. I get it's iconic, but like, there's a bunch of badass weapons that are iconic. Most of the Rathian weapons you can just put on screen and people will be like, oh, I know what that is. That's pretty cool. And then there's just a general lack of research into the source material. And I know this is kind of like the given for Hollywood video game adaptations, but still, it's like, first of all, why is there only one Hunter? This is a high-level quest, a G-rank quest. And this man is rolling up, by himself with beginner gear against a black Diablos. No. He should be in a team of 4, especially with how much this dude looks like he just got off the boat. He just got here and he's like, what's going on? Huh, what am I doing here? I don't know. And funnily enough, if you look in the description of the trailer that Sony posted on their YouTube channel, it says that the hunter is part of a group. So then please explain to me why this man's rolling up to a Black Diablos mission in beginner gear and is completely alone. What? Also, I know they did this in Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite, but why is the hunter using 2 weapons at the same time? Not only that, he is using 2 weapons of different classes. One's a Blade Master weapon, the other is a Gunner weapon. His armor does not reflect that. What? Also, and this might just be me, but the weapons look pretty small. Like, greatswords are supposed to be pretty big, but it looks like it's only one-handed. Those things should be two-handed. And the bow looks bigger than the greatsword. What? And then, of course, there's the one scene in the trailer where, like, the hunter looks through his telescope and he's like, Diablos. First of all, I don't think that's the right pronunciation. Second of all, you couldn't even see the thing yet. Third of all, it's clearly a Black Diablos. Why do you just say it's generic Diablos? It's clearly not. You can see that it's not. It's so obvious that it's not. Yet this man's rolling up, the expert that he is, and he's like, oh, it's a Diablos. You know what? Actually, boy, you signed up for the quest. Why are you acting like, oh, this is a surprise. I didn't know I was fighting a Diablos. Oh my god. Bruh, you paid to go on the quest. You geared up. You went out into the dunes. And then suddenly you see the monster and you're like, whoa, this is a surprise. Oh my god, I can't believe I'm fighting a Diablos. Wow. And then the scene in the canyon where they're shooting at the bugs. They are so generic looking. There are so many bugs in the Monster Hunter universe. You've got Vespoids, you've got Bonabras, you've got Hornitars, you've got Khonshu, you've got Celtis, and you've got Nerscylla. Some people have actually said that the bugs are Nerscylla, but there are way too many differences. The bugs are too small, they don't have 6 appendages, they don't have crystals on their backs, they don't have glowing blue eyes, and they don't burrow underground. Or no, they do. Nerscylla don't. And then, most of the monsters that they've shown off so far, besides the canyon bugs is what I'm gonna call them, are flying wyvern class that just look like dragons. And there's so many other monsters. There's so many more. You've got the Kechawacha. You've got the Tetsukabra, the Mizutsune. You've got... There's so many more. I can't think of any more off the top of my head, but I guarantee you, there's so many more. Oh, there's the Zamtrios! Zamtrios is cool! Or the Kezu. Like, yeah, it's a flying wyvern, but like... Ooh. That thing, no. Get out of my face. I do not want to see you, Kezu. I will have nightmares. No. Next. There's one scene where the main character's dual blades, along with the hunter's greatsword, light on fire. Despite the fact that A, you cannot just trigger elemental attributes on a weapon, and B, the weapons that they're using don't have elemental attributes to begin with. But even if we look past that, the hunter, being the expert that he is, decides that, oh, we're fighting a Rathian. Let's use fire weapons. And yet, Rathians are resistant to fire. They are literally fire-breathing dragons. This is the one case where you do not want to fight fire with fire because the thing that you are fighting fires more than you do. And then there's just one line in the movie where the main character says, I don't care what those creatures are, I just want them destroyed. And that's... We're not fighting aliens in this movie. They're monsters. They're not killing machines. There's an ecosystem. They're just doing their thing. You roll up to them and they attack you. It's because you rolled up to them with sharp sticks and are like, I'ma kill your ass. And they're like, no, I just want to live, thank you. You die. The monsters are usually never the antagonists. The monsters are the ones being attacked. They're defending themselves. That's how it works. They're not bloodthirsty killing machines. In fact, the Diablos? That's an herbivore. And yet I'm pretty sure there's several scenes in that trailer where it tries to eat people. It eats cactuses, not flesh. So, final thoughts. This movie's gonna suck. It's gonna suck. Big time. It might do kinda well in the box office, but critically it will probably do well too, because Hollywood critics really love their generic action movies, but it's just people that actually know about the series, and probably people that only know a little about the series, are just going to be like, what is this movie? This was garbage. It's just another generic real world meets game world movie, when there's so much opportunity within the Monster Hunter universe to tell an interesting story. Like, look at Monster Hunter Stories. Heck, look at the regular Monster Hunter games. Those tell really great stories. There's so much opportunity here, and it's wasted. And then the main character just looks like she's gonna be a Mary Sue who, at one point in the movie, overnight is suddenly like, oh, I know how to use the hunting weapons. I know how to use dual blades. I've had no prior training, but I can do this in my sleep. And then just the fact that the trailer emphasizes the military versus monsters aspect just so heavily, rather than focusing on how the people within the Monster Hunter world actually fight monsters. Like, you're not doing yourselves any favors, Mr. Director. Speaking of the director, Paul W.S. Anderson, who, in my knowledge, worked on the Resident Evil movies. He claims that he's been a big fan of the series for a long time, and yet, there is a clear and utter lack of basic knowledge about the game. The knowledge that he has is so surface level, it's the ground floor. He has no level of understanding beyond the ground floor. He looked at the box art and was like, I know what this game's all about. I know exactly how it works. Oh, I can make a movie about this. I'm gonna work on this movie for 10 years and not learn a single thing about the game. Hey, I'm Paul W.S. Anderson. I let my wife act in the lead role, so we get double the money from the movie, even if it bombs. This movie is such an obvious cash grab that it hurts. And it hurts that the director is claiming that he's been a big fan. Maybe he is. Okay? Maybe he is. But if he is, he's not doing the series any sort of justice. Like, the reason he did the whole military thing was because he wanted to kind of put the feeling of being new to the world, the way he felt the first time he picked up one of the games, into the movie. But you don't have to make it to where the military suddenly gets transported into the Monster Hunter world in order to do that. Just tell the story from the eyes of somebody within the Monster Hunter world who is just learning about monsters. Maybe make it to where, like, there's an area of the world that, for some reason, doesn't get attacked by monsters. And then someone there, who lives there, is like, I want to go outside and explore the world. And then he bumps into monsters, and he bumps into monster hunters, and he's like, I want to become a monster hunter. That's a perfect way of doing it. Because then there's, like, no context for what's going on in the main character's eyes. That would have been so easy. You could have tied it into the new Monster Hunter Rise game that's coming up. There's so many opportunities here to make a much better movie than what we have been shown so far, that to claim that this director is a fan, for him to claim that, oh, I've been a fan of the series, no, you haven't. You played it for about 5 minutes out of curiosity, and then you wanted to make a cash grab. He basically said, I liked Monster Hunter before it was cool, therefore I know what I'm doing. No. Stop. Sit down. Rethink your life choices. But I don't want to end this video on a negative note. So here's a good thing that's happening that has to do with Monster Hunter. Monster Hunter Rise. I just mentioned it. Wow, this game looks good. It looks really good. I haven't played Monster Hunter in a hot minute, but oh my god, am I hopping on Monster Hunter Rise as soon as it comes out. I like the Palamutes. I like that you're able to ride them around and go really fast because, let's be real, before Monster Hunter World came out, traveling the overworld kind of sucked. It was really slow. But now we can ride on top of dogs, and they're our friends, and we can use them in battle. It looks so cool. And then the wire bugs. I know it looks kind of like the grappling hooks from Monster Hunter World, but the fact that you can incorporate them into attacks, and that's going to be the game's main gimmick, oh, it looks beautiful. I'm kind of sad that they're probably not going to be bringing back hunter arts and hunting styles, because that was one of my favorite parts about Monster Hunter Generations Ultimate, that you could, like, literally change the way you play. I'm sad they're not bringing that back, but the wire bugs look really fun. Also, being able to, like, climb pretty much anywhere. At least that's what we've seen in the trailer so far. Like, Breath of the Wild style climbing, but taken up to a whole nother level. That looks super cool. And from the news that I've heard, the very little news that I've heard, they're apparently mixing some of the traditional Monster Hunter systems with the ones that World introduced. So that's going to be super fun, because again, I haven't played World, so I don't really know what's going on in that game. So to be able to, like, have a taste of that in Rise is so good. Also, Switch exclusivity. I think the Switch deserves it, because World was literally on every other platform but Switch. So the fact that the Switch is now going to have its own Monster Hunter game, its own unique Monster Hunter game, is so good. I am looking forward to that a lot. But, yeah. That's about it. I just wanted to talk about the Monster Hunter movie because I saw the trailer and boy, was I just completely and utterly just depressed by what I saw. They could have done so much with that movie, and instead they chose to take it in the most generic direction possible. But, yeah, that's about it. I hope you guys liked this video. Make sure to leave a comment. Again, the pseudo poll that I'm having for what game you guys want to see me play next, that's still going on, so put your suggestions down in the comments. Tell me what you thought about the video. Tell me if you have anything to add, or, like, basically tell me whatever you want. Subscribe if you like my content and you want to see more of it in the future. I will be putting out more videos like these. The Star Wars Battlefront videos should be coming out soon. Hopefully, if nothing else goes wrong. Hopefully. And, like, share the video with people that you think will like it, and, that's it. So, thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope to see you again in the next video. Until then, bye.